Hi, my name is Stone Norris. I'm a senior at Clarksville Academy. I run cross country, and I will be running for Austin Peay State University next fall.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn Kent. I'm a freshman from Jackson, Tennessee. I attend Austin Peay where I will be majoring in liberal arts to become a professor.
My name is Luis Garcia, and I'm a senior in Northeast High School. For the first 11 years of my life, I grew up in Humacao, Puerto Rico, and then when I was 11, I moved here to the United States. And when I was 16, I moved here to Clarksville, Tennessee. Growing up, I had big dreams just like everybody else. Go play in the NBA, all that type of good stuff. But moving from place to place was always hard. I always got scared. Was I going to make any friends? How was it going to be? And I was just nervous. I went to 5 different schools in 7 different years. And so I got to Clarksville. I went to Northeast thinking I wasn't going to have any friends. And it was going to be like that for the rest of high school.
On the surface, I looked full. Growing up, I went to church every week. I was baptized before I could even remember, and I went to church camp every summer. I never smoked, I've never drank, and I've never watched porn. I have a 3.98 GPA and a 28 on the ACT. I'm a pretty good athlete and a pretty decent runner. On the surface, my life was great, but I was empty and broken on the inside. I felt alone and angry, judging everyone I knew for the stuff they did. And over time, God quit making sense to me. How could he love me for being a judgmental hypocrite? How could he love them for all the things that they've done? So I stopped going to church unless my parents made me, and I'd try to cut myself off from anything related to Jesus. I decided God was just some idea someone had made up. He wasn't real.
Growing up, I used to go to church all the time. If the doors of the church were open, my mom would have my sister and I go in them. I really didn't find myself actually enjoying church unless there was cute boys there. I was a typical high school student. I played volleyball. I enjoyed prom. I loved it a lot. I did okay with my grades, but my relationship with God was just distant. I really just didn't care.
First day of school, I met my boy Keem. He told me I should come to Young Life during lunch. I never heard of Young Life, but he said I should give it a try, and everybody at the lunch table said it as well. And so it was one of the best things that happened to me. That night, I met my Young Life leader. At first, I couldn't figure out why he was hanging out with a bunch of high schoolers, but really, little did I ever know he was going to change my life.
I started to go to Young Life my freshman year mainly because all of my friends were going and they said it was a fun time. I met my leader Chipper, and upon my first experience with him, he said, "Hey, what up, Storm?" Thinking that was my name. It's not my name, but I still ended up going because all my friends were going to go, and it was still kind of fun. So we went to campaigners every week, and the first couple of years of doing that, we never got too real with each other, even though Chipper had tried. During my sophomore year, I decided to go to Sharp Top Cove for fall camp after a lot of convincing from both Chip and the boys. During that weekend was the first experience I had of hearing something real from my friends and my first experience of being somewhat real with them. I told them I didn't think God was real, gave them a few BS reasons as to why, and we called it a night. I still couldn't dare to tell them how broken I really was.
The thing that defined me in high school was my anxiety. I always felt like I wasn't good enough, around friends and family especially. I hated Young Life, to be completely honest. I remember the first time I went to Young Life Club and one of the leaders walked straight past me and said, "Hey, Mary," to one of my best friends. And that's when I truly felt alone and like I wasn't being seen or heard.
My Young Life leader will always come to practice, and he gave me rides home. One week, he told me to go to Carolina Point. When I went over there, it changed my life. I thought I wasn't going to do anything at first, but it changed my life completely. I will never forget the day, May 30th, somewhere between 8 to 10 p.m. I talked to God for the first time, and he said, it's none of those things when I was asking him, is it this, is it that? It was none of those. It was a God-shaped hole he was only going to fill. I talked to my Young Life leader and my friend Heath. They told me how it was, and it was going to change me. I was just literally shaking with joy and excitement, and I wasn't going to be the same old Luis when I was mad and all that stuff. that was going to be a new Louis, happy, hopeful, and caring.
Coming to Austin Peay was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was my first time going to Young Life College, and it was my first time going to Young Life in general since high school. And my sister asked me to go, and at first I was like, I don't know. But that was one of the best decisions that I made in college. I felt welcomed, I felt loved, and all of the Young Life leaders were welcoming, and I loved being there. I remember one of the Young Life leaders started to pray, and the prayer was just so powerful that I was just taken aback. And I remember over Christmas break one time, I was not able to go to sleep, and usually I'll lay my head to sleep, and I'll just do that little nursery rhyme prayer. But this time I actually decided to pray and take my time like that Young Life leader did, and I took a deep breath and I said, "Hey God," and I began to pray, and that was one of the best prayers I've ever prayed in my life.
About a year later, my leader Chip started spending weeks trying to convince me to go to summer camp with him. He even called my dad to try to get him to convince me to go to summer camp. Reluctantly, I signed up. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much and was really just going because my friends were going and wanted a week away from the noise. But God had different plans for me. That was the week where my life changed. There was a time at camp where all the leaders shared their stories of who they had been and who they were now on a piece of cardboard. That was the moment God captured me. Person after person, I kept feeling this deep echo that God loves us. Despite our past, despite our failures, despite the fact that we will fall short no matter what we try, God still loves us. God still loves me.
Since being home, I try to put God before everything. I know He's with me, no matter how I feel, my ups and downs. Every week, my leader's teaching me and a couple other guys how to read the Bible. And ever since I got back, I started loving and appreciating more people. Because before I met Christ, I was always trying to separate myself because I didn't know if they were gonna hurt me or leave me. But since coming home, that changed, and I always try to meet everyone, make everybody's day, because you never know what they're going through.
Since coming home, I've learned that accepting Jesus is as simple as having a relationship with Him. We talk to Him, and He talks back. We read and learn about Him. We spend time with Him. And I've learned it's something that I have to want. It's about my heart, and that no matter what I do, no matter what sins I commit, God still loves me.
If I was supposed to tell high school me how far I've come along, I wouldn't believe it. Last semester I got a 4.0 and I don't feel alone. Before high school, before college, I would go to church because my mom would make us. But now I actually go for my own enjoyment. I pray to God. I don't just do nursery rhymes and stuff. I actually feel like I'm talking to Him and that He's there sitting with me. It's just amazing. I used to be defined by what people thought of me, but now I'm actually defined by Jesus and myself. Don't get me wrong, times are still get rough, but I still lean towards God. I've learned that God doesn't leave me, no matter if I stop reading one day or stop praying the next. He's always there. And oh my goodness. Woo. Now I'm becoming a Young Life leader. I'm going through training, and I just wanted to reach out to girls who probably felt the same way that I felt. And I just want them to know that there is a Jesus and that He's there. And I just want them to be able to know the God that I love.